Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this evening's update on Tropical Storm Ian. Tropical Storm Ian has maximum sustained winds of 45 miles per hour, a minimum central pressure of 1,002 millibars, and is moving west at 14 miles per hour as of 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Saturday, September the 24th, 2022. Looking at the satellite imagery of Tropical Storm Ian is looking very organized on satellite now. And even though we've had a decrease in convection in the last few hours, I don't anticipate that trend to continue, as we're already seeing some new convection develop on to the east and northeast, and Ian is now moving into a perfect environment for rapid strengthening over the next 24 to 72 hours. Looking at the wind shear map, this is why I'm really worried about Tropical Storm Ian. There is literally only 5 to 10 knots of wind shear from where Ian is located now to the north central Gulf. So there's going to be no wind shear inhibiting strengthening whatsoever of Hurricane Ian. And you combine that with, or Tropical Storm Ian, soon to become Hurricane Ian, and you combine that with extremely high sea surface temperatures in the upper 80s and very high upper ocean heat content, uh, Ian is going to absolutely explode as it moves south of the Cayman Islands in the next 24 to 36 hours. And looking at the official hurricane cone for Tropical Storm Ian, Tropical Storm Ian is now about a few hundred miles south of Jamaica, and Jamaica is going to be spared. My friends in Jamaica, you're going to be spared most of the impacts from Ian, except for some scattered showers on the north and east side. And Ian is expected to become a hurricane as soon as late Sunday night, early Monday morning, southwest of the Cayman Islands, in which we now have a hurricane warning in effect for Grand Cayman and tropical storm warning in effect for the eastern Cayman Islands, past about 100 miles west of Grand Cayman Monday afternoon as a strengthening hurricane. And now Ian is projected to become a major hurricane sometime late Monday night, early Tuesday morning, as it approaches the western tip of Cuba. And once it gets into the southeastern Gulf of Mexico, Hurricane Ian is just going to go off on an intensity, and major hurricane status is expected through Tuesday, Wednesday, and for some reason the National Hurricane Center weakens it back to a Category 2 hurricane on Thursday, but I'm not sure if I'm going to buy this yet because the Gulf of Mexico is literally rocket fuel when it comes to sea surface temperatures and upper ocean heat content. So if you're anywhere from Panama City Beach down to Tampa, I'll be preparing for a major hurricane landfall sometime on Thursday. Looking at the intensity model guidance for Tropical Storm Ian, this is very concerning now. Ian is expected to become a Category 1 hurricane in the next 24 hours, a Category 2 hurricane in the next 48 hours, Category 3 hurricane in the next 60 hours, and in the next 72 to 100 or to 96 to 108 hours. Almost all the models take Ian to a Category 4 hurricane as it moves into the Gulf of Mexico. So now almost all of the hurricane model guidance expects a Category 4 hurricane from Hurricane Ian in the Gulf of Mexico in the next 3 to 4 days. So looking at the spaghetti model plots for where Ian is expected to move, in the next 48 hours, Ian is expected to be about 100 miles west of Grand Cayman. In 72 hours, Ian is now expected to pass between the Yucatan and Cuba, so no land interaction here is going to only further increase the strength of Ian as it moves into the southeastern Gulf of Mexico. In about 96 hours, it is expected to be in the east central Gulf, and in the next 120 to 144 hours, 5 to 6 days, next Wednesday and Thursday, is expected to approach anywhere from now Pensacola, Florida to Tampa, Florida as a major hurricane. So if you're anywhere, actually, if you're anywhere from Pensacola, Florida to Tampa, I would be making my hurricane preparations for Ian. And even if you're in New Orleans, towards Biloxi, Gulfport, Mobile, these areas, you need to really watch the trends on Ian because the malls again have trended westward this afternoon. And if the malls continue to trend west, areas from New Orleans through Mobile could be seeing impacts as well from Ian. Looking at the official European model for hurricane or for tropical storm Ian, starting this evening, September the 24th, the European model keeps verifying a weaker system. So the model is already showing a weaker system than what is in reality. Going into tomorrow, the 26th, Monday, the European shows a strengthening tropical storm southwest of Jamaica and a hurricane going over the Cayman Islands by late Monday evening, and then rapidly intensifies it into a major hurricane as it moves over Cuba by Tuesday, September the 27th. And then when the European model is still showing a very far east solution where we have a Category 3 hurricane approaching Tampa, Florida by Wednesday, September the 28th, and makes a landfall near Tampa, Florida as a Category 3 hurricane on Thursday, September the 29th. So, and the European model slowly moves Ian inland through Thursday and Friday. And if this happens, we could be dealing with a whole lot of flooding as well with Ian. Looking at the GFS model, and the GFS model, I believe, has a better handle on Ian, as it already has a tropical storm. But even this is verifying weaker than reality, as this is showing 1,005 millibars in the present, and it already has 1,002 millibars. So going into Monday, September the 26th, the GFS begins to rapidly intensify Ian into a strong tropical storm. And by Tuesday, we have already, the GFS is completely going insane on the intensification. We already have a Category 3 hurricane moving very close to the Cayman Islands by late Monday and early Tuesday. And then the GFS model passes a Category 3 hurricane between the Yucatan and Cuba on Tuesday, September the 27th. And in September the 28th, on Wednesday, the GFS has a Category 4, close to Category 5 hurricane northwest of Cuba and west of the Florida Keys. And going into Thursday, the GFS model also slows Ian down considerably as it starts to approach the western Florida panhandle. And then we see a potential landfall in the GFS on Friday, September the 30th. And the GFS also shows a major hurricane hitting Florida. This time, the GFS shows a landfall on the 30th in the western Florida panhandle, where the European shows a landfall on Wednesday, September the 28th, near Tampa. So we still have a little bit of model disagreement, but overall the models have been shifting to the west. Looking at the potential rainfall accumulations, wherever this system goes, whether it's the Florida Peninsula or Panhandle, is going to be seeing a lot of rain from this. I mean, the GFS is putting widespread 4 to 10 inches with isolated areas of sea up to 15 inches across wherever the east side of Ian goes. In this case, much of the Florida Peninsula and the eastern Florida Panhandle. Even Georgia and South Carolina are looking at about 2 to 5 inches. In the GFS model, we could be seeing anywhere from, once again, uh, this has the system further west, so the Florida Peninsula in the GFS solution would see about 2 to 5 inches, and then we would see a whole lot of rain across the Florida Panhandle from Pensacola to Panama City Beach of about 3 to 7 inches, so a little less than the GFS solution. So thanks for watching this evening's update on Tropical Storm Ian. Make sure you're making your hurricane preparations if you live in the Cayman Islands, Cuba, and Florida, and other areas of the Southeast. Stay safe and have a wonderful evening, my friends.